Okay guys, so I'm getting ready to leave New Jersey, headed south to Florida. Here it is the end of October, the leaves are changing colors, and the temperatures are starting to dip into the 50s. And when I arrive in Florida, the temperatures should be in the 80s. So how do I feel leaving New Jersey? Emotional. It is a little bit emotionally hurtful to leave your loved ones. So I leave my mother in New Jersey. I spent the past almost 2 months with her, and it was a special quality time. And it brings a level of sadness when you leave. I'm getting ready to travel from New Jersey to Florida, which is almost 1,500 miles. And some of the states in the United States of America are bigger than some countries in the world. So in one aspect, I'm traveling to a different country, a different world when it comes to the physical distance that I am going to go between me and my loved one, my mother. And it makes me empathize with immigrants, with those who leave their family or friends in a country and travel to a distant land to build a better life. There's a big sadness there. I'm very fortunate where my mother still lives in the same country with the same rights, and at any time I could visit her, so I'm thankful. But feeling the pain helps me empathize with those who have been through that journey of immigration. And technically right now I'm migrating south. My grandfather migrated from Italy, and I remember talking to him before he died, and I remember he would get upset that ATM machines had started to give the option to read out in Spanish. And I said, Grandpa, why are you upset that they give you the option to read in Spanish? He goes, Sam, well, when I came to America, it was very hard for me. I didn't speak English and no one helped me. There was no ATMs or bankers that spoke in Italian. So I said, well, you should empathize then with those who are migrating now. Wouldn't you want it to be easier for them because you knew how hard it was for you? Some people miss that empathy and they just think that, oh, because it was hard for me, it should be hard for you. As humans, we should want to make it easier for the next generation that comes after us, because we don't want them to go through all the pain we went through. But that's part of what I feel emotionally leaving my mother. Now, personally, that was on a grand scheme. Personally, I have to pull myself back from feeling the emotional pain that maybe I'll never see my mother again. Now, that's true. Anytime you leave your house and you go to work or you go to the store, you may never see the person that you just hugged or kissed. That's a reality of life in this world, whether you live in a distant land or the same house your entire life. But if you stay in the house and you never go to the grocery store, you never go to your job, you never travel, you never live your life is wasted. So there has to be a balance between spending quality time with family and friends and also pushing yourself to feel some pain and going and living your life so that you make the most out of your life. You have to find that balance. And I also look at it as an aspect of wisdom, because if there's an emergency, you want the buffer, you want the ability to be able to go back and see your loved one and not feel resentful that you didn't live your life. You know, it's like, hiring the interest rate, because if there's an emergency, I want the ability to lower the interest rate. But if I spend my whole life by my mother and keep interest rates low, there's an emergency, I'm stuck. I've never done anything. You always want to create some buffer. You always want to mitigate risk, but you also want to realize that life is risk. If you live a life and you take no risk, you have no life. Now, if you take reckless risks, you destroy your life. The balance. So how do I feel? Again, I feel all these range of emotions. Every time I leave New Jersey, and I have several times over the course of the past 5 years, I've documented it on this channel. I felt scared, hurt, and empty. There's a void in your soul when you go on your own path by yourself and you leave some familiar, comfortable places and people behind. You have to pull your mind back from getting too sad. You know, in my mind, here's another thing that I do to trick my mind or to push myself forward. I said to myself, Sam, well, in a couple weeks, it's Thanksgiving. If I really wanted to, I can come back up here for Thanksgiving. If there's an emergency, I come right back up. I could take my car, I could take an airplane. And even if, God forbid, worst case scenario happened, I spent quality time. I did the best I could. This is life. This is what I want to share with you in this video. Is that it's emotional to go out and leave your dog while you go to work. You know, some people who have never worked and never had to leave their service dog, they don't realize everyone shouldn't have a dog because, you know, you have to go to work, you have to provide. You know, some people who've never worked, they just sit there with their dog all day, but it also prevents them from going out there and self-caring their life because they have to take care of the dog. Now they got to take care of the dog, they can't take care of themselves. And now there's got to be more than life than that. There's got to be a balance. It's not easy. I've lived several different types of life, so I empathize. You know, I used to try to take my dog everywhere, and that was a great season of my life, so I don't judge that. But I thought about that when my dog passed, like, you know. And so my message in this video, as I start my journey south, and I feel this emotional separation anxiety, I feel sadness, I feel the empathy and the sorrow of all those who have left loved ones and family behind through immigration, migration, travel, or just as simple thing as the first day your kids go to school and you feel that separation, that emotional pain. You know, it's painful for your young child. You spent the past 2 years with them. The first day they go back to school, it's scary. But if your kids never go to school and they never develop what it's like not to just live in their house, but to live in the world, they're going to be underdeveloped. They might as well have stayed in your fetus. This is part of life experience that you can't get if you stay in the house you grew up your entire life, if you stay in this comfortable situation. And I'm not saying it's wrong all the time to do that, depending on your individual circumstance. And if I felt like I needed to or wanted to, I would turn this around. But even for the past 5 years, I've already done what I'm telling you to do. Even before that, you know, I haven't lived at home since I was 22. Has that been painful? Sure, it was even painful then. But it's also been good. I mean, I've lived a life, okay, and it's allowed me to mature and be thankful when I do go back and see my mom. And when I do spend time in different environments and have a broader perspective on life and the world. You know, this is life, you know, there is no easy, okay? There's better, there's risk management, there's time management, there's time windows to do certain things in your life. As I get older, I don't like to travel as much. I want to tell you that. You're not going to like to drive at night. You're not going to like to go to unfamiliar places. You know, when you're young, you do need stability. When you're middle-aged, good time. Got to be careful what you do, how you do it. No exact science to life, but there's some things that I'm sharing with you in this video. What does it feel like? It feels like all these things that are very emotionally overwhelming. And this is what keeps most people stuck where they're at, because this emotional pain is there. And it's easier to take a nap than to deal with. And that's why I empathize, I understand why people do it. But I can't do it because then I might as well destroy my life. I mean, I just want to share with you that your journey in life, at some point you have to go. If you don't go, you will resent, you will not grow. And I just want to share this with you. I hope this video helped you. I will see you in the next one.